This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Kane Baker, aka Kane Barker, as Dave Allen loves to call him here in Birmingham, in the little cafe that him and his missus runs. Kane, first and foremost, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And yourself?
I'm good, mate. Good, obviously, good to hear you're doing well yourself. As I mentioned, we're in a lovely little setup here. Talk to me about your side away from boxing and the little setup you've got with the calf and with your missus.
Yeah, so this is the Knockout Diner that my missus owns and runs, she was a cafe in the daytime food, and because of the lockdown she's doing the nighttime menu now, burgers, that kind of stuff, hot dogs, and it's a nice little place and it's some cracking food.
I'll certainly come back here once everything opens back up, Kane. But obviously, we mentioned lockdown there. How have you found lockdown away from boxing?
Well, to be fair, before the lockdown, I was scheduled to fight for the English, and so I went into lockdown. I was on weight, fit, ready to go. So I kept up training for a couple of weeks, but then, like everyone else, I fell into the trap of getting comfortable, a bit lazy, and not doing as much training. But my weight stayed down. I've ticked over. As soon as I heard that boxing shows were commencing again, I'm professional enough to know that you can get a call at any time. So I'm picking back up now, doing what I can away from the gym, and now gym's opening back up and looking forward to get stuck in there.
How difficult is it to keep yourself motivated on your boxing career, knowing that there was so much uncertainty about when boxing will resume and when normal life will resume in general?
Yeah, it was difficult, but to be boxing, the discipline I take from boxing, whether I've got a fight booked or not, it kind of kept me going for the lockdown. So, even though I didn't have a fight booked in, I didn't even have a date, I didn't even know when the gym was going to be open. There's times where I could have sat there and thought, no, but I got up and go for a run, and I'd keep some discipline and normality from the boxing, what I took from the boxing, really.
What was kind of the team's guidelines through lockdown? What did your trainers, your managers and what have you say to you?
Well, I was doing a lot of Zoom. We got a WhatsApp group, BCB in the WhatsApp group, and we're all posting training videos at home, and was all keeping up to date, and it pushes you on when someone else is doing something. And then we even ventured into a few TikToks and things like that, but we just kept keeping each other motivated, which was great. And if you're having a bad day and you see someone's done a run, you think, oh fuck, I'm gonna have to do something like that. So it was good, and being part of the BCB group and the WhatsApp group was great, and the Zoom chats, training.
What was it like when the gyms obviously opened back up and you was able to get back in there and see everyone?
Yeah, it was very weird at first, to be fair. I think the first time we went back into the gym, the police come. Oh yeah, the police were walking past and popped into BCB, and they were just checking there was no sparring. Someone was on the pads and they thought that was sparring. So it was quite comical, it was weird. Yeah, the first couple of sessions, and they were obviously keeping our social distance, and there weren't no sparring. There hadn't been no sparring as much as coming late now. The sparring, but there was nothing like that at first. It was just different, really. Yeah, but nice to be back in there and the buzz, and just to see, even if you are a bit social distancing, seeing the faces and having a bit of banter is what you need.
With that first session back in, not just with yourself but with everyone, was there kind of a lot of built up energy? Everybody wanted to release, and everybody kind of really taking out on the bags in those first couple of sessions?
Yeah. And obviously, because we weren't consecutive back in the gym, I went in one day, and I think I was off for a couple of days because I give it that much. Yeah, I needed to recover, and a lot of people I think do the same.
Now, obviously, Kane, one of the reasons and one of the main reasons we're here today is because you're one of the fortunate ones in one sense, where you've been picked to go on one of the initial boxing cards that are returning, and you'll be facing Aqib Fiaz, an up-and-coming prospect. Talk to me about how that all came about. How did the deal come about for you to face Aqib?
So basically, I think he goes by the name of Mini Tyson, and then I heard something about there was a fight getting offered to fight Mini Tyson in the Garden, and obviously with all the talks of Mike Tyson's come back, I didn't know anything. I just jumped in. I said, I'll fight it. I thought that was my multi-million deal, and I said, yeah, I'll fight him anyway. But no, it's Aqib Fiaz, and it was called the Mini Tyson in the amateurs, I think, or something like that. and it's in Eddie Hearn's garden, not the Madison's garden, and the paycheck's nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. So, I said yeah. I didn't know much about him, to be fair. I know he's 5-0. He's obviously really good because he's signed by Matchroom. But I've been to places and I keep in contact with a lot of boxers who haven't got what we've got, the opportunity to fight on shows like that. And to be fair, if I turned around and said no, I could have sat back and waited for the English title. Sat back and thought, yeah, I'm going to fight for the English and be something like that. But really, there's people out there who jump. It don't matter what notice they get, they'd love to be able to have a fight on Eddie Hearn's garden, even with no fans there. So for me to be able to turn down a fight, I'd be cheating myself, really, and cheating the fighting fans. So, and 5 weeks notice is just a bonus. The more than 50-50 we can make it, the better.
What have you seen of Aqib? Have you been studying any of his past fights? Have you managed to find any footage?
I don't watch any of my opponents, but my missus she watches my opponents and she's put them on, and I've watched bits. I know we fought a couple of the same opponents, but really, anytime I go into a fight, I'm more bothered about myself and making sure I've got 5 weeks to put a good point across myself. I mean, I've kept myself from my weight down. And I'm more bothered about me. I don't really care about Aqib Fiaz.
Eddie's made a point that with the shows that he's putting on, he's determined to try and make them 50-50 bouts. Is that how you see your fight with Aqib Fiaz? Is it a 50-50 fight in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's 50. It's maybe 60-40 him. He's the home show. He's the Matchroom fighter. They would have picked me first and probably knew about me before there's certain things that way that would go to him, but he hasn't gone past 4 rounds. It's an 8-round contest. I've done 8, 6, 10s. I'm more experienced than he is in the pros. I heard he was a really good amateur, but there's 50-50. There's a side of his game that, yeah, maybe if it was a 4-rounder, he could come and box made off. But after I'm still there after 4 rounds, and he ain't never seen 6 and 7 and 8, and I have. It's anyone's game. I'm going to be ready. I'm going there to win, not to lose, and he hasn't had that yet either.
How do you expect the fight to play out in your own mind then? Is there are you there thinking, do I need to get the stoppage because you are the away fighter as it is?
Yeah, but I can't punch. Really, it's just to wear the life out of him and man him. He's 20 years old. I'm just turned 30. I'm meant to be the man, and that's what I'm going to have to try and be in the ring. I'm going to have to be. I've been in there with some bigger lads. I've fought so if I can man him and just make it uncomfortable for him, and show him something he ain't seen before, we'll see how he adapts to it. He might be as good as everyone says, because a lot of people do rate him, and he might just turn it up and show. But I've got a lot of heart, a lot of love, and a lot for boxing that I've got a vendetta with Scottsworth have been sparked on there, so I don't want to let anything like that happen again. I've got to go out and show my worth, because I am better than my record suggests. I am better than people say I am. And if I turn up, Aqib Fiaz will have a handful.
You fought some very well respected names. Granted, you may not have come out on the right side of the decisions, but how key do you think the experiences with the likes of kind of Ben's or Sam Maxwell's and what have you will be going into that fight in comparison to what obviously Aqib has had in the pro ranks? Yeah,
well, I've been in with some Ben I only completed a round with, so, but that whole walking out and wow, that experience, I remember that feeling. I'll never forget that, and that held me in good stead. So I learnt from that. Maxwell on the Fury Bill was a big night, and he was a big puncher, and he was the weight above me really, and a great amateur again. But I learnt a lot from that. I learnt loads, and I've improved from then. And even though the losses, people thought walking away and maybe thinking Kane's dented or he's been beaten again, but they're building a different animal in these losses. And really, I was expected to not last more than 2 or 3 rounds with Maxwell. And then I've been at Gary Cully, great fighter. He's a really great fighter, and avoided for a reason. 6 foot southpaw who can punch, and I had 24 hours notice to fight him. So I've took some of my losses of the Mills, another great fighter really. A lot of people said after I fought he weren't that good, but I think I made him not as good because a couple of the fights before that, even some of the road warriors he'd fought had said to me, watch him, he can punch, he's a good fighter. But I've just learnt from him. And yeah, Aqib Fiaz as an identity. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking. I think he could be. Everyone thinks he's going to go on and do really good things, but I could be a stumbling block, definitely.
Behind closed doors, of course, what's your thoughts on fighting without fans there? You might even hear commentators. We don't know whether the commentators will be ringside or not. What's your thoughts on all of that?
Well, again, experience on my side. So I fought after Fury. Fought Seferi, and there's no one there really, so it's like an empty, there's people rushing out, and there's just certain things I have fought in places like that and times like that, and or early in Belfast on the Frampton show when no one was in there against Cully, and it's a nice big ring, big arena, and but it's empty, and you know I could only hear my opponent's fans saying knock him out, the same as Maxwell, and when I fought Maxwell, so I kind of I'm experienced that, and I'm ready to fight if anyone's listening, but I'll just be a bit upsetting if I don't even miss you saying put your hands up, because that's become a common thing now. But the experience again I would say would go for me in that department.
I mean, what have you been told about the procedures for fight week? Obviously very different to what we're used to and what a normal fight week would have. What have you been told to expect from when you have to arrive and until the fight's over?
So I'm going with, I think we have 2 weeks before we get a COVID test sent out. We obviously have to pass that to proceed, and then I think we're going to have a few days earlier, and we got to stay before we weigh in, stay in a hotel, isolate on our own in a hotel, go weigh in, back to the hotel. So to kind of stay in the hotel as much as walk into the ring and the fight, and I think they're going to clean the ring after every fight. There's going to be dust masks for the cornerman, maybe the referee. I can't see how that's going to be hard. Luckily we ain't got to wear them. I think maybe on the walk down we might have to wear them or something, I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be different. Are we going to hear what the people are saying with dust masks on? Things like that are going to be different. But again, that really just is part of the whole thing that's gone on. It's a night of history really in the pandemic, the first women's British world title fight, a few things, so I'm going to take it all in and love it really, exciting.
What do you sort of want to achieve with your career? What do you feel that you can do in boxing away from this Fiaz fight?
Well, if I'm brutally honest, I've overachieved for myself. I won a Midlands, and I never thought I'd win a Midlands, never, and I won a Midlands. Before I won the Midlands, I asked to fight for I wanted to fight for a Midlands. You need to get a couple of wins, and then I went to Saudi Arabia. I got knocked out, and then I come back and they said you can fight for the Midlands. I thought, what the hell? So I don't know, Christmas, and I won the Midlands, and I wasn't meant to win it, but I did. And I'll never beat that moment. That was for me. I proved everyone wrong really, and everyone who'd ever doubted me and says he's just a fighter, and I won that. And then I went on to fight for an English, and well, this is where I was real with myself. That was my chance really, and I didn't win. I weren't good enough, and yeah, it was close enough to get the rematch, but when I sit there and ask myself, am I going to sit out now and wait for a rematch when I had my chance to win, or am I going to? I've been into places where people don't get to fight and what they'd give, so for me to turn it away and say sit and wait for my English, I'm fooling myself, you know. I fought two journeymen who was there so my last two wins that put me back in. Anyone could have won them really in a way, or got themselves wins. So I haven't done nothing. So really, for me to deserve the second crack at the English, even though it's been accepted for myself, I need to go and have a challenge. And if Fiaz is the challenge, then I've got to come through that. So if I lose that, I lose the English. And if I win it, I mean, I'm worthy of fighting for the English. Is how I see it, and that's how I'm not going to fool myself in boxing, and I'm definitely not going to fool my fans or my sponsors or my friends into thinking I'm someone I am. So.
Okay, the final fight I just wanted to get your thoughts on before I do leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Obviously, a former campmate of yours, Jason Welborn, he'll be facing Felix-Cash on another show, another matchroom show. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I have seen Felix a few times. He's very big and very strong. But Welborn, when Welborn turns up, anyone's in trouble. If Welborn turns up, Felix will be in trouble as well. It's going to be. But that again, the mouthwater. You can't name me one fight at the minute that's been announced that ain't really quite mouthwatering. Yeah. So hopefully, Team Welborn comes through.
Okay, we will leave that there now then. But before I let you go, two things. First and foremost, a final message to Aqib Fiaz ahead of fight night. Which is obviously a month away yet.
Yeah, just be ready. I'm going to be very ready. I respect the time I've had and to prepare, and I'm going to come all guns blazing. And
then obviously a word to everybody who tunes in to watch our interview in general.
Yeah, keep like and subscribe to Boxing Social. Give me a follow. Thanks for listening, and hopefully more to come soon. Maybe before the fight, if not after, when I'm victorious. I'll have a winner's interview hopefully. And a thank you to my sponsors, County Clean. Yeah, they supported me through lockdown, and I could have carried on for the English, and they've supported me to take this fight. And yeah, just my friends and family, everyone who's bought tickets. You don't need to buy a ticket because this one's on the telly.
Okay, I'm sure we will catch up to do another interview very soon, but I appreciate you giving up some time today to do a socially distanced interview for those who are worrying. And me here just zoomed in on my camera. But Kane, best of luck with the rest of your preparations and fight night, and thanks for your time. Thank you, Speak to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much, Andy. Thank you.